Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Pedro. I'm a pilot here in Canada. I moved here in 2019 to get my pilot training done. During the pandemic, flight training was a little bit crazy. I'm finishing my instructor rating now, and soon enough I'll be an instructor here at my school. If you have any questions about any of it, just feel free to message me anytime on Instagram, Fly with Pedro. Today's video is gonna be a quick Q&A. I posted a picture here and asked you guys to ask me questions about aviation or anything related to life in Canada as a student or whatever you guys wanna know. And I got a few questions here and I'm gonna go through all of them one by one. It might be a little loud from time to time because we're right next to the runway. Is it compulsory to pay all fees once or they can be paid in installments? If you're an international student like I am, we're gonna have to pay 3 installments, okay? If you're Canadian, you can pay as you go. You can pay every month, just a couple thousands at a time, just to keep your balance positive throughout your flight training. If you're an international student and your visa depends on the school, you need to pay in installments. First one is 30%, second one is 40%, the last one is the 30% remaining. Can I ask questions in Brazilian Portuguese? Yes, you can. Was the course you were doing easy and are job prospects truly great? The course I'm doing is the complete course that includes private license, commercial license, multi-engine, instrument rating, and instructor rating. With all of that, you can either get a job with a multi-IFR type of job, or you can become an instructor to get some more hours and then try to find a different job. I'm not gonna say it's an easy course. Of course, you're gonna have to study, you're gonna have to practice a lot and really apply yourself into it, but it's nothing insane like you cannot do it. It's not the easiest thing I've done in my life, but it's not the hardest thing. If it's your dream, of course, you're gonna make it work and you're gonna enjoy the process. I loved every part of my training. It was really fun, and I'm always having fun when I'm flying, and studying has a purpose, so it's not really hard. What is the future of pilots in Canadian airlines? The salaries of pilots are bad, I've heard. Unfortunately, the salaries for pilots that are just beginning can be really low, especially when you compare with the time and money that you put into your education. So it can be a little bit discouraging if you only look at that first 2 years as a pilot in the market. I'm gonna make a video about pilot salary, maybe today or maybe it's gonna be next week's video, but I'm gonna talk a bit more about it, so just make sure to subscribe and you're here next week. Why don't we stay in a chopper for 12 hours and land on the other side of the earth? If you fly with a chopper, you're just flying in the air around you, and the air around you is rotating with the earth, with the ground, so it's not gonna work. Is it easy to get a job as a flight instructor in Vancouver after finished studying? A lot of flight schools will actually hire their own students to become an instructor. If your flight school is too crowded, that might be harder to do because there's too many people trying to get the job. But if your flight school is not really crowded and you have a good relationship with them, they'll probably hire you as their instructor, as a lot of the older instructors are gonna leave the job pretty soon to move to an airline or other types of jobs. So there's always an opportunity to become a flight instructor. If not in Vancouver, you can move somewhere else. Cost of pilot training, including PPL, CPL, and ATPL, and job opportunity scenarios. So I've made a video about pilot training costs in Canada. I'll link the video down in the description. Job opportunity scenarios. There is a shortage. People are looking for pilots. A lot of pilots from Canada are leaving to the US as well. So there's always going to be a demand. People are always flying. Transport Canada had a huge drop in license that they issued last year and the year before. So there's not enough pilots coming out of flight schools to fill all the gaps that are going to be there. I'm going to also do a video about pilot shortage very soon. So just make sure to subscribe to check that out. Airline ground staff job. I'm not really familiar with ground jobs. I had a friend that used to work in the airport here. There is a lot of jobs, there is a lot of people needed in the industry. I just don't have enough information to give you. What after CPL? So after CPL, you can either try to find a job just with a CPL license, or you can become an instructor. You can get your multi-IFR ratings and find a job doing that. You can do small cargo operations, sightseeing tours, air taxi. There are a lot of types of jobs you can do with a commercial license. You just need to find it. Please share a few accommodations to stay near CAC. If you check Facebook Marketplace, you can find a lot of rooms for rent around the school, around the Pitt Meadows area, and some other websites also might be a good option. If you want, just text me and I can try to help you to find a place. If I want to be a pilot in the US after experience in Canada, how long do I need to wait to get hired after conversion? Maybe in the same day you can get a job, maybe it's gonna take a while. It really depends on your qualifications and if people are trying to hire you. As you know, India is growing very fast in aviation sector. Is it worth to become a commercial pilot in Canada? The choice on where you're gonna be a pilot also has a lot to do on where you wanna live. What country do you want to have your family in? Education for your kids, healthcare system for your family, safety, weather, everything. It's not only about your job, but also everything else in your life. If you like a certain city in India more than you like some options here, great, you can stay in your home country, near your family and all of those things. If you want to live in a different country, if you want to experience a different culture, of a lot of the things that Canada offer you may sound appealing, then Canada might be the best option for you. But in the end of the day, it's your choice, just what makes the most sense for you. As being a commercial pilot with Air Canada, can I make good living? Yes, you can. If you're captain for Air Canada, you're gonna make a lot of money. Which one do you recommend doing first, getting a university degree or doing flight training? If your plan is to become a pilot, I suggest you start with your flight training first, get that out of the way. If you wanna get a degree later to add on to your qualifications, awesome. But if you do your university degree first and then do your pilot training, you're not even gonna work with the degree you just got from university. I'm not sure if that makes a lot of sense, but I would say just get into flying as early as you can and get the hours up while you're still young. Best part-time job with flexible hours. That was my main goal while trying to find a job when I came to Canada. It was the flexibility because I wanted to come to school whenever I had to, and also to choose how my week was gonna go. I got a job in a restaurant. They were very flexible with schedule. And other than that, I was also doing food delivery with DoorDash, Uber Eats. And you can't really have a more flexible job than delivering food because you choose when you do it and you stop whenever you want. So those are two very good options. If you want to get started with some delivery apps, just send me a message. I can send you a promo code, so you might get a bonus after your first deliveries. All right, hey mate, see you there soon in September. See you in September. It's really nice when people that used to watch the videos that I post actually apply and come to Canada. So it was really cool to see it. Is there any ground school in Canada which provides training as well as job for CPL holder? Not sure if I understood the question, but a lot of the flight schools, they also have their ground school in them, and after you complete your training, normally you can also get a job with the same flight school as a flight instructor. So yeah. I start my training in September. Recommendations before arriving to Canada. If you can, maybe get your medical exam done before coming here, but it needs to be approved by Transport Canada. It needs to be a medical examiner that has, the TC approval, because that is taking a while. Other than that, there's not much you can plan for. If you want to get started reading the books and getting familiar with the terms and terminology and everything you're gonna learn, sure, you're gonna be a step ahead when you get here. But other than that, you just have to come to ground school, start flying, and get stuff done when you're here. Does Canada uses metric or imperial system for aviation? So we use heights in feet, distance in nautical miles, the speed also in knots. We don't really use kilometers an hour or meters. I study in CSE but want to drop my course and get admitted on aviation. Do you think it's risky? If aviation is your dream, I don't think it's risky at all. You should do whatever you want to do for your future. So if that's the dream you want to follow, I would say go for it. I want to know about visa issues. Do they accept study gap? Yes, they do. When I applied for my study visa here in Canada, I had finished my school many years prior to that, and that was not a problem. Can you come to pick me up? If it's in the airport when you get here for pilot training, sure, I can. Talk a bit about cost of living in BC in 2023, please. Maybe I'm gonna do a video about, an updated video about cost of living in BC, okay? Is type rating available at Canadian Aviation School? If you mean Canadian Aviation College, we don't really do type rating here. You need to worry with type rating once you already have your license to work with an airline and they're gonna choose what airplane. Is it possible to get a work permit or PR after training and requirements to become a flight instructor? Yes, I already have a work permit. After I finished my CPL, I applied for my postgraduate work permit and I got a 3-year work permit. And now that I'm finishing my instructor rating, I can actually start working as an instructor. And after working for a while, I can apply for the PR. Anything you should know before joining flight schools that you wish you knew earlier? I'm not sure if I didn't really have any bad surprises before I came. Anything I wish I knew before? Not really. I think everything is pretty well explained before you come. If you have any questions, just ask me and I can try to help out. Can you please mention the pricing breakdown for PPL in CAC? If you just want to do your PPL with the flight school in Canada, you need to be a Canadian or a PR because you cannot get a student permit just to get your PPL done. And the price breakdown is actually on the website. You can check it there. cacbc.ca. Tell us about campus placements, if any. If you're studying here, you can get a job at Dispatch. They're always hiring people, to do all the computer jobs and bookings and aircraft management and stuff like that. So you can work on campus if you want. And if they need, of course. Should I be doing type rating after multi-IFR or should I wait for the airline to provide type rating? In my opinion, you should wait. Let's say you apply for a job and they need new pilots to fly on their Q400s. They're gonna train you on the Q400. If you show up to an airline here, say, hey, I have a type rating, and they don't really have that airplane, but they need you as a pilot, you did the type rating for no reason, right? In September, I'll be coming to CAC. Can you help me with accommodation? I can try to find, yes, I can try to help you out with the school. Maybe we can find a place for you to stay. Price of the whole CPL in your flying school. If you mean whole CPL as in just PPL, CPL, I think it's around 50-something thousand Canadian dollars. If you're adding multi and IFR, it goes up to 77 or more. If you're adding instructor rating with the whole thing, it goes up to 97. It really depends on what you're adding to your CPL, just like toppings in a pizza. And what's your favorite IFR chart in Vancouver? I'm not really using IFR charts yet. We've used like a few times for some of the lessons, but I didn't do my IFR training yet. I did my multi in this plane and I'll do my IFR as soon as I'm done with my flight instructor rating. All right, so these were all the questions I got on the post. If you have any extra questions you'd like to know the answer to, just make sure you write it down here in the comments or send me on Instagram. It's Fly with Pedro. I'm open for questions, so if you have any questions about pilot training, just text me on Instagram. If you want to come to Canada, if you want to become a pilot here, I'll be happy to help. And if you're coming later this year or next year, I'll probably be working as an instructor here at my school, and it will be a pleasure to take you flying around Vancouver. So yeah, make sure you subscribe for the next videos, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.